morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Pandesal Forum here at 84-year-old Kamuning Bakery Cafe. Of course, our speakers, later on I will call out and introduce everyone. Of course, nasa gitna si Congressman Mark Cojuangco. Very unique siya kasi very dedicated siya and committed advocate of nuclear energy in the Philippines that finally, hopefully, will start soon. And then on the right side, si Ms. Gail Certeza will speak later on about the environment of nuclear energy, the background, and of course we have Attorney Iarika Yaco Siria. Doctor din siya, representing Senator Francis Tolentino na busy ngayon sa budget hearing. And of course, we have beside me Ms. RBA Astronomo from the Philippine Nuclear Research Institute. I'll start muna with the person who will give us a brief background there of what is nuclear energy, how is it performing worldwide, and the context of our discussion today. Ms. Gail Certeza on the right side has been an expert in advertising industry for more than 30 years now, even though she looks 30 plus years old lang. She has worked previously in 7 companies across 3 countries, including local, and has won local and international advertising awards. What she is doing now is her personal advocacy with Congressman Mark Cojuangco and others in an NGO called Alpas Pinas. Siya yung lead convener ng Alpas Pinas. She has earned her master's degree in creative writing, also master's degree in developmental communications, dalawang degree, sobrang talino, from University of the Philippines, and she got also another master's degree. She has 3rd master's degree in depth psychology from Pacifica Graduate Institute in Santa Barbara, California. She is now, hindi pa nakontento, she is now taking her PhD in the Asian Social Institute. She has also authored 5 books, some of them published in London. Let us welcome the lead convener of Alpas Pinas, Ms. Gail Certeza.
Good morning. Ang gusto ko munang sabihin is maraming salamat sa pagpunta. We are very grateful that you took your time to be here with us. Alpas Pinas, our advocacy is nuclear energy education. So, yung mga ganitong forum is very important for us because it helps us spread the news about nuclear energy. So, meron po akong pinipare na 101 on nuclear energy. Ito po yung mga usually the top 10 questions that we get asked as we go around. And Kong Mark knows more about this because Kong Mark has been doing the rounds for more than 17 years. So Kong Mark, whenever you feel that I missed out on something, feel free to grab the microphone. So simulan po natin. Importante po ang 101 kasi po gusto ko po ng parang engage a forum. So the most important part po ng ating is question and answer. Yun ang pinaka-importante na part ng forum na to. So we're starting with who is Alpas Pinas? What is Alpas Pinas? So Alpas Pinas is an NGO. We are a non-profit organization. We are the country's leading organization for educating and advocating for nuclear energy. Yun lang po ang sole objective namin, na malaman ng mga Pilipino na ang nuclear energy ay nakakabuti para sa bansa natin. Ano pong ginagawa namin? Halos lahat po ginagawa namin. Next slide please. So, maliit lang po kami na organization, pero ang talagang thrust namin is education. So, meron po kami mga ganito, meron po kaming mga events, we do stand up for nuclear, we do summits. Kongmark would help us meet with stakeholders and we talk to them. We do grassroots talking. Lahat po na avenues na pwedeng gawin na makakapagsalita kami tungkol sa nuclear, ginagawa po namin. So, yan po ang Alpas Pinas. Next slide. So, ang gusto po naming mangyari is malaman po ng mga Pilipino ang nuclear energy at bakit po mahalaga ang media. Ang media po ay sobrang mahalaga kasi kayo yung gatekeeper of information. Kayo yung nagsasabi sa mga Pilipino ano yung importante, ano yung maganda, ano yung maayos, ano yung dapat nating pansinin. So, kaya ang Alpas Pinas, we really take time to talk to media, to try to get you to engage in nuclear kasi kayo yung conduit namin sa mga Pilipino. So that's why it's important and we're grateful that you're here. And we would like to reframe issues kasi pag-iikot po, madami pong mga tanong na usually pare-pareho lang, hindi nakikita yung other side. And that's what Kongmark really wants to do. Next slide. So unahin po natin yung paano ba tayo nag-generate ng electricity sa Pilipinas? So ito po ay data galing sa PNRI. So, good that we have from PNRI. So, coal po natin is 45%, gas 23%, geothermal 13%, hydro 11%, oil, wind and solar po, despite po the noise of the renewables, mababa ho talaga ang wind and solar. Maganda lang ho talaga yung PR nila at maganda lang talaga siyang tingnan. But in numbers po, mababa talaga ang wind and solar. Next slide, please. So ano yung mga...
may balik please. May konting mali po yan. Yung coal nasa 55% po, yung gas nasa 20%. So yun ang alam kong latest numbers.
But the wind and solar pareho pa rin?
More or less, mababa pa rin. Pero nadadagdagan na yung solar. And wind, but it's not a major part of the mix.
Thank you, Kongmark. Next slide, please. So, ang issues po on the Philippine mix is this. We are very fuel dependent. So, kakakorek lang ni Kongmark na 55 na pala ang coal. So, we are very fossil fuel dependent at 75%. At alam naman po nating lahat that fossil fuels pollute. It's highly ang nakasulat po dito, according to Harvard University studies, 8 million people died of fossil fuel pollution in 2018. Ang UN po, sinabi nila 2 million. But Harvard said, in 2018, 8 million. So madami talaga. And this is a part of fossil fuels na hindi kinakover. Parang it just passes by, hindi natin nararamdaman. Kasi nga, it doesn't make the news. Ang main energy source po natin is coal. Ang coal po natin ay ini-import natin. So, pag naputol po yung importation, ang ating energy security po is in peril. And that one needs to be talked about then. Ang coal po na ini-import natin, Kongmark can talk about more of this later, is very expensive. We import the coal. As of 2022, the data I got was 5.4 billion, which is equivalent to 297 million. Tama ba yan, Kongmark?
More or less.
So more or less. So ganun kamahal ang importation ng coal natin. 297 million. That's a lot of money that we can use for our services para sa bansa natin. But we're buying coal, burning the coal to generate electricity that's being sold back to us na sobrang mahal. So yun yung mga issues on the Philippine energy mix. Next slide. Ito po, medyo technical, kasi ang nuclear kasi medyo technical. Gusto ko lang po ipasok yung base load. Kasi nga, ang renewables, palaging pumapasok na sila yung pwedeng maging to power our country. Ang base load po, very simply po, is a kind of, it's that you can generate and deliver electricity 24/7. Yun lang yung pinaka-simple niya. So sa mundo po, ang nakaka-deliver lang po ng 24/7 almost always are fossil fuel, coal, oil, gas, at saka nuclear power plants. So ano po to? Data po to. So next slide, please. So what about renewables? Kasi ang tunog na renewables natin So, sabi ko nga kanina, ang renewables natin, very minimal. So for it to take charge of our energy mix, ang layo pa nila. Next slide, please. So wind and solar, by nature, sporadic and unreliable. Common sense po tayo, paggabi, wala po talagang solar. I mean, hindi po natin kailangan ng personnel from PNRI to tell us. Walang solar sa gabi. Pag walang hangin, wala din pong wind. So, ang nangyayari po, pag walang sun at walang wind, may backup. At usually po, ang backup is usually fossil fuel. Yun yung hindi sinasabi ng renewables. They'll push for renewables, but there's always a backup.
Gail, kung pwede ko lang sabihin tungkol sa renewables, no? Kasi pag renewables ang pinag-uusapan, it is talking about wind and solar. But really, hydro and geothermal and biomass are also renewables, no? Pero linalump up nila yung pag-usap tungkol sa wind and solar with the good name and the good performance of geothermal, hydro, and biomass. So do not be misled when they talk about renewables. They're referring to wind and solar, but really they are also referring to geothermal, hydro, and biomass. No? So wag magpalinlang. Okay.
Thank you, Kong Mark. I actually put there, nakalimutan ko, I actually put there 26% because when you attend forums like this, they always say renewables 26%, 26%. So you have to ask them, what is 26%? Ang breakdown po ay ganon. When they say 26%, parang kino-cover na nila yung wind and solar. Actually, wind and solar, mababa talaga. So that's the part of the reframing that we would like to ask the media, that you don't give them a free pass because nuclear doesn't get a free pass. So you have to ask them also the hard questions. When they say 26%, you have to ask them the breakdown because the breakdown is this one. And we will give you a copy of the presentation. Next slide, please. Okay. So when the renewable question comes up, they would always say, oh, pag walang sun, may battery naman. This is po a quote from Bill Gates. And Bill Gates, he invested in renewables. He's invested $1 billion in renewables. Ang source po nito is the book, A Bright Future. So Bill Gates said, there is no battery technology that's even close to allowing us to take all the energy from renewable and to be able to use it as a battery storage. Not for a 24-hour period, not even one day. And syempre, not for a long period of time. Pag may time na may bagyo na walang sun, ilang araw yon? Kongman.
Yes, dagdagan ko lang, no? Kumuha ako ng aking sariling back of the envelope calculation sa 20 oras na storage. Multiples na ang investment required ikumpara mo sa nuclear. And I'm not including the solar panels or the wind turbines. I'm just including the battery. Wala pa po doon yung inverter, kung ano-ano pang kailangan para umandar yung battery. So just 20 hours of batteries is already multiples of the investment required for nuclear power.
So ang mahal, dodoble siya. Next slide.
Yes, and batteries don't generate anything. In fact, they consume some power. The round-trip efficiency for batteries is not 100%. It's around 85 to 90%. So you lose 10% in the round-trip efficiency. So kumukonsumo ang battery, hindi nagpo-produce. So kung kulang ang Pilipinas ng kuryente, we need generating sources. We don't need storage.
Etong slide po na to, gusto lang po namin ipakita na ang nuclear po hindi na bago. Ang nuclear po ay ginagamit sa maraming bansa sa mundo. So, luma na nga itong data, Kong Mark. This is 2009. So as of 2009, there are 436 nuclear power plants around the world. And then there are total, they're projecting that it will be 898 with nuclear power plants being planned, being built, and being created.
Dagdagan ko, Gail. Recent news, kahapon ba o the day before yesterday, nagpahayag ang USA, si President Biden, kasama niya ang ilang progresibong bansa sa Europa. I think it's France and UK. Dineclare nila na to meet global warming and climate change, dapat mag-times 3 ang nuclear capacity sa mundo by 2050. So there are 450 more or less nuclear plants today. Kung times 3 po, kung totoo yung sinasabi nila, we're talking of an additional 900 nuclear power plants worldwide. Yun ang target ng Amerika, tsaka UK, tsaka Western countries.
It is environmentally good for the world talaga.
Yes.
Compared to coal and others.
Yes.
Next slide. So next slide, I just wanted to point out, ang UAE, an oil-producing country, is making nuclear power plants. So tayo po, wala po tayong oil, coal capacity, pero yung mga countries na may oil and coal capacity, nagpapatayo ng nuclear power plants.
In fact, dagdagan ko rin yon. Libo-libong Pilipinong manggagawa at daang-daang Pilipinong ininyero ang tumulong gumawa sa 4 na nuclear plant sa United Arab Emirates. Tagwa 1,400 megawatts po ang bawat isa, sa total 4 of 5,600 megawatts, accounting for 25% of the electricity being generated in the United Arab Emirates. So, ito na mismo ang oil exporting countries nagdo-nuclear para mabenta nila sa atin yung mas inferior nilang at highly polluting product na kikita ng dollar para sa kanila. So, dapat magising-gising na rin tayo. Tayo na lang ang gumamit ng nuclear, maiwasan natin ang pag-angkat ng bilyong-bilyong dollar taon-taon para paandarin po ang ating mga power plants.
May i-add si Miss Albi Astronomo, taga DOST and Philippine Nuclear Research Institute.
So magandang umaga po. Gusto ko lang pong i-add na yun nga po, ang technology ng nuclear ay matagal na. It has been existing since the 1950s. So it is a mature technology. So ang bansa po ngayon na may pinakamaraming nuclear ay ang USA. They have more than 90 nuclear power plants. Pero ang fastest growing country po ay ang China. And they are currently constructing more than 50 nuclear power plants. More than 50. 50. 10 years ago, China is not even in the top 10 of the nuclear countries, and now they are top 3. Ang second po ay France. In the next few months, China will probably overtake France po.
By 2030, i-overtake ng China ang Amerika sa nuclear. And by 2050, they plan to have something like 400 nuclear power plants. Balita na recently, within the last 2 or 3 weeks, kinontrata ng China bilhin ang 50 taon production ng Qatar sa LNG. So, kino-corner na nila ang fossil fuel market, no? They did similar with another big country recently. I think, I'm not mistaken, USA LNG. For the next 25 years, binili nila lahat ng production. Something like that. So, tayo pumapasok sa LNG. Hindi tayo kasing yaman nila na makipag-agawan ng supply sa kanila. So, magiging kulelat po tayo sa linya, sa supply po niyan. So, we are exposing ourselves to the risk of short supply for these very scarce resources in the future. So, pag nangyari po yun, tataas po ang presyo ng kuryente.
The nuclear around the world. Ang Asian neighbors natin, sabi nga ni Doc Alvi, China is leading. But our mga katabi natin, they're also building. Bangladesh, Mark, correct, is opening.
Ang unang-unang planta ng Bangladesh i-switch on na, I think bago matapos ang taon o bago matapos ang first quarter next year. That is 1,200 megawatts. Katumbas po yan ng dalawang PNPP1. And the following year, around the same time, another one. So, katumbas ng 4 na PNPP1 within a span of 2 years. Aandar na po, tapos na ang construction. And then Egypt and Turkey, the same model as what Bangladesh bought, Russian reactors, 4 na 1,200 sa Egypt, 4 na 1,200 sa Turkey, katumbas po bawat isa ng 8 PNPP1. So, tayo nagdidebate pa.
Kung nakinig pala tayo, Congressman, sa inyo 17 years ago, edi nakarami na tayo ng nuclear plant, mura na kuryente.
Exactly po. Exactly.
Correct po. At ang ang PNPP was supposedly the first nuclear power plant in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia, Asia. So nandun siya ngayon.
Dapat nauna pa tayo sa China. Yeah. Kasabay natin ang South Korea dapat. Cory 2, contemporary ng ating PNPP.
Oh, sayang.
So,
Na umaandar, no? Cory 2, umaandar.
Without problems, sabi ni...
Yes, walang problema. Award winner. KRSKO sa Slovenia, tsaka Angra 1 sa Brazil. Lahat yan, kambal ng ating PNPP. Lahat yan tumatakbo hanggang ngayon. Award winners. Sa saya ng Slovenia, gusto pa nilang bumili ng bago. 2 million lang ang population sa Slovenia.
Ngayon po, ano?
Sa Korea naman po, kasabay po natin, kalahati lang ang population nila. They have 29 running nuclear plants.
Right now, 29
Yes, at sila po ang nag-export ng nuclear plants sa United Arab Emirates. So, na-miss out po natin lahat po ng development na yan. We missed the boat in 1986. Instead, tayo po ay nag-55% coal, nag-20% gas, 75% fossil fuels po tayo, and we are so dependent on importation.
So, nag-ooperate po yung tatlong yon, yung sister plants ng BNPP since the 1980s. And until now, nag-ooperate po without any grave problems. And in fact, yung sa Slovenia po, we were able to visit it in 2017. They are still planning to extend yung operation time ng even 10 years to 20 years. Kasi ang nuclear power plant po, kayang patakbuhin ng 60 years to even 80 years with good management.
So, what do you mean, what do you mean by sister plant in South Korea? Kasi hindi tayo technical person. Ibig sabihin, kasabay siya, same model?
Exactly the same model.
Yes.
Exactly the same model.
Kasi po ang mga nuclear power plant, parang sasakyan lang din po yan. May iba-iba pong make, may iba-ibang model. So may iba-iba rin pong mga nuclear power plant technology na po pwedeng magamit para makuha po yung energy from nuclear. Ang Bataan Nuclear Power Plant po, si Congressman magaling mag-explain dito ng layman, pressurized water reactor. So parehong design, parehong supplier, pareho pong architect yung nag-supply ng BNPP at ng tatlong sister plants. And in fact, ito pong pressurized water reactor ang most common design sa buong mundo.
Sorry to interrupt, may naghabol lang na tanong. Pagkano daw ginastos natin for nuclear plant na hindi ginamit since
86.
Since 86 up to now na hindi natin ginamit?
Kasi po yung planta natin, dumaan po yan ng hot functional testing ng Mayo ng 1985. 1984.
Oo.
And nung Marso ng 1985, yan po ay nabisita ng IAEA sa pamamagitan ng kanilang pinadalang OSAR-2 mission at sinertified ang ating planta na ready for core loading. Ibig sabihin, pwede nang kargahan ng nuclear fuel. May nang bara na ambassador ng Amerikano, no, at that time, Ambassador Stephen Bosworth, dahil anti-Marcos po siya nung panahon po na yon.
Nahinto niya?
And gumawa siya ng mga gulo. So si Marcos bilang isang politiko, imbis na pinanindigan, napabayaan po na hindi umandar ang PNPP-1, inabutan po ng February 1986 na People's Power, and the rest is history. Kaya po ko po binabanggit ito dahil noong ako ay bumiyahe sa Korea noong 2009-2010, nandun po ako sa boardroom ng KEPCO, ng KHMP. Nakita ko po ang litrato ni Ambassador Bosworth nag-i-inaugurate po ng Korean nuclear power plants.
Sabihin,
kaya nainis po ako na bakit tayo iniba ang trato. So, anyway, that is as of August of 2007, ako po yung nagdi-defend noon ng budget ng DOF. Vice Chair po ako ng appropriations noon. Ibinalita sa akin ng taga-DOF, Sir, bayad na po ang utang ng buo ng ating PNPP-1 as of August this year. 2.12 billion US dollars.
2.12 billion dollars.
Yes. Ngayon, ang 699 po niyan, million, 0.699 billion, ay interest na galing sa bulsa natin dahil hindi po umaandar yung planta. Dahil doon po sa Korea, ang interest po binayaran ng umaandar na Cory 2 nuclear power plant. At doon po sa Korea, yung 1,050 1.05 billion US dollars na principal ng kanilang planta, nabayaran po nila in 6 years of operation.
Wow!
Tayo po, dahil di po natin ginamit, paano mababayaran kung hindi ginagamit? No. Ngayon, yung atin po mas mataas ng konti, 1.4 something billion. Kung hahanap po kayo ng korupsyon, doon nyo po hanapin doon sa diferensya ng Korea at saka Philippines. Pero, i-consider nyo na ang pundasyon ng PNPP-2 ay nandun na po, katabi ng PNPP-1. Tayo po ay gumawa pa ng kalsada papuntang Morong. Nagkabit po tayo ng power line hanggang Metro Manila at nagtayo po tayo ng nuclear village which was already existing sa Busan nung ginawa ang Cory 2 dahil nauna po ang Cory 1. So, yun po ang mga diferensya. Kung gusto nyong usisain, nandun po yun po ang lahat ng ebidensya. So, hindi ko sinasabi, malinis ang PNPP, walang corruption, but those are the facts.
Sorry, Congressman Mark, may nagtanong lang. Originally ba scheduled to open na sa 1985 na delay lang ng politika?
Yes po. Dapat po nakargahan yan ng fuel sometime June of 1985. Dapat first criticality po yan, mga August. Dapat nag-commercial operation na yan by about February 1986.
Wow!
Hindi po nangyari yan dahil sa politika.
Anong ginawa ni Bosworth? Sinabotahin niya talaga noon? Grabe naman.
Gumawa siya ng... nagbenta po siya ng doubt, uncertainty, and fear. Sinabi niya, walang hospital, walang ganito, which is beyond the purview of the American agreement. The agreements.
So we are the first na Southeast Asian nuclear power plant. Tapos sabi nga ng isang speaker namin, para tayong merong Mercedes-Benz na hindi natin, na may susi pa tayo sa Mercedes-Benz natin. Nakasabit lang dyan. Sa
50 years na hindi ginagamit.
Hindi natin ginagamit.
Pero mini-maintain lang.
At mini-maintain yung Mercedes-Benz natin.
40 years.
Because si President Cory Aquino, Kong Mark,
dagdagan ko, no? So, si President Cory Aquino, siyang gumawa ng executive order na dapat itenga na yung PNPP1. After niya ginawa yung executive order na yon, gumawa siya ng pangalawang executive order na minamandato na bigyan ng budget for maintenance ang PNPP1 dahil ang magdidesisyon sa whether gamitin siya o hindi ay ang future generations of Filipinos. So, in credit to Cory, hindi niya hinatulan ng kamatayan ng ating PNPP1, binigyan niya po ng buhay na bahala tayong mag-decide. So siguro enough time for us to know, to learn about the realities about nuclear power, and if we could solve our electricity crisis in other ways, maybe we would not need nuclear power. But we have given it 37 years. Every administration post-Cory has failed miserably in addressing our electricity crisis. The only thing we have not tried yet is nuclear power. And yet we have a 100% complete, well-built nuclear power plant for the last 37 years just waiting to be operated. So maybe,
sorry to interrupt.
maybe the framing of media is in error. Maybe media also needs to soul search and evaluate its narrative. What did we lose by not having nuclear power? Let me propose something to you, media. Posible ba na kung sana naging mura ang ating kuryente at sapat ang supply dahil sa nuclear, na nadagdagan ng 1% GDP ang ating GDP for each of the last 37 years. Kung madaling mabenta po yung ideyang yon, then our economy should be 37% bigger today. Ilang trilyong piso taon-taon po yan. Ilang milyong trabaho po yan na hindi na-create. So, yun po ang itanong natin sa ating sarili. Ang nangyari, naging 55% coal po tayo, ang pinaka-deadly, pinaka-delikado, mapanganib na technology sa kalusugan ng tao na napaiksi natin ang buhay ng libo-libong Pilipino, libo-libong Bataenyo na walang sa inyong nagreklamo. Mga kaibigan, yan ang framing na gusto ko sanang pag-isipan ninyong mabuti.
Bakit ho ba kami nakikipaglaban at gusto namin ang nuclear energy? Kasi po, by nature, nuclear energy is very unique. It's very dense, and I think Dr. Alvi can tell you more about it. Yung ganito po kaliit na uranium, ang equivalent po nito sa coal is 3 tons. So, ganun po siya ka-dense, kaya ang kailangan natin konti lang. So, ganito kaliit, so ang waste niya, konti lang rin. So, kaya siya technologically advanced compared to coal, oil, and gas. So, next slide, please. So, ano mga issues dyan? So, ang nuclear energy, it provides 24/7 electricity. Kaya po inuna yung baseload kanina. Unlike coal and gas, nuclear is clean. Wala ho siyang emissions. Hindi ho siya naglalagay ng particulates in the air. So, malinis siya. So, it's cleaner than wind and solar. Pero, unlike wind and solar, it can provide 24/7 electricity. So yun po yung difference kung bakit importante ang nuclear energy. It's base load like fossil fuels but cleaner. Clean, and then unlike wind and solar, clean siya pero hindi siya reliable. So kaya palaging sinasabi namin, ang nuclear energy is clean yet reliable. Kaya po sa lahat po ng mga events namin, lahat ng media na engagement, ito lang po yung sinasabi namin. ang nuclear ay mura, malinis, maaasahan. Or in English, clean, cheap, clean, yet reliable. So, yun po bakit unique ang nuclear. Next slide. Ang palagi po kaming tinatanong is, pagkatapos usually ng talk, ang unang tinatanong, safe ba ang nuclear? Actually, doon sa binasa ko na book, ang tinatanong, compared to what? Compared to what? Pag ito po, ibibigay po namin sa inyo, ang nuclear po, nandun po sa pinakababa, 0.03 per terawatt hour. Ang terawatt po is 1 trillion watts. So, ang mundo po, we are consuming 68 trillion watts in a day. So, ito po yung numbers. Ang pinakauna po ay brown coal or lignite, yung ginagamit ng Germany. And then coal. And then oil. Ang nuclear nasa baba, 0.0. Actually, si Doc Caloy Arcilia said in one of the presentation niya, it should be 0.0013 because the predictions of the fatalities for Chernobyl and Fukushima did not happen. Kong Mark.
Kung tatanggalin po natin sa datos na yan, yung naging kamatayan sa Chernobyl, magiging 0 po ang number ng nuclear. Bakit naman natin tatanggalin ang Chernobyl, ang datos ng Chernobyl? Dahil po ang Chernobyl ay walang containment. At yung containment po, ayon sa regulasyon sa lahat ng kanlurang bansa, kailangan po yan. Bawal pong magtayo ng nuclear plant sa kanlurang mga bansa kung walang containment. And,
Containment is pang pader. Containment. Dome.
yes, yung
yes.
bilog po na building, no, yung bakal sa loob, dalawa po yan, magkahiwalay, redundancy rin ng containment. Wala pong ganyan ang Chernobyl, no? So, yun ang basihan para pwedeng i-exclude. So, kung i-exclude mo, 0 po ang mortality ng nuclear from the time na naging commercial po siya.
Nandun din po ito sa slide ko. From 1986 to 2019, only less than 50 people died. So ito po, we'll give you a copy of this. This is po from the World Health Organization. Pag binasa niyo po ang sinabi dito, as of 2005, fewer than 50 deaths have been directly attributed to radiation from the disaster. So, ang laki po, dramatic po kasi ang Chernobyl. So, may mga movies about it, may TV series about it. But when you go back to the World Health Organization and the United Nations, ito po ang findings. So, the thing that scares us shitless is scary, but it did not kill as much as coal kills. Coal kills 2 million people a year. This is the worst thing that ever happened in nuclear, and it killed less than 50 people. So we have to put things in perspective. Next slide. The next slide is, yun yung sinasabi ni Kong Mark for 17 years now, that there are only 46, less than 50 deaths. So we need to separate myth, drama, film, fiction is pulp fiction, and there's non-fiction, and there are facts. And this is the fact on Chernobyl. So wag po tayo matakot. Ang ibang bansa hindi na po takot. Tayo takot. Ito yung pinaka-unang question na nakukuha namin in any of the engagements that we go to, from here to Sorsogon, to Iloilo, to Dumaguete, name the place. Ito po yung una. Kaya nilagay na po namin. Next slide is Fukushima. Ano pong nangyari sa Fukushima? Ito rin po, this is from World Health Organization, from the UN, 0 casualty or injury due to radiation. Yung pong mga namatay, unfortunately, sa Japan, was because of the tsunami and the earthquake. Hindi po
so
dahil...
earthquake pala yun, hindi
Yes.
nuclear.
Hindi po sa nuclear. Ang findings po, 0 casualty or injury due to radiation. So, hinighlight ko po yung yung findings nila, even the levels of radiation po, mababa. And Kong Mark can attest to that because Kong Mark actually went to Fukushima.
Yes, dala ko po yung anak ko. That was about 5 years ago, Pasko. Kumain po kami ng sushi doon po sa Fukushima mismo, sa Namie, malapit sa train station.
So, earthquake ang mga cause for death. Parang nangyari sa Thailand yung tsunami.
Yes.
Na wala naman nuclear, may namatay sa Thailand.
Yes, exactly. Libo-libong tao. In fact, in Fukushima, around 20,000 died. Nalunod po.
Because of tsunami, not because of nuclear
Yes,
plant.
yes. Pero kung titignan nyo po ang coverage ng media, may mga fake ngang litrato no? I don't know if you have it here. Pinapalabas po nila yung tsunami wave height map, which has nothing to do with radiation. Is the spread of radiation sa Pacific Ocean. So that is false.
So it's
And
not
then
tsunami.
naglabas po sila ng litrato ng nasusunog, no? Na nuclear plant daw.
Hindi yun.
Hindi, that was 200 kilometers away near Tokyo, yung Cosmo Oil Refinery. Yun ang nasusunog. Ilang beses na po sila pinagsabihan, called out. Ito mga malalaking network po ito mga CNN, BBC. Paulit-ulit pa rin nilang pinapalabas yung maling litrato.
Hindi nasusunog ang nuclear power
Hindi.
plant. Not even once.
Hindi po yung picture, maling picture. No? So, ibig sabihin that they say misrepresentation.
Fake news. Thank you for clarifying.
Yan po, yung picture po na yan, that is NOAA, National Oceanographic something ng Amerika, di ba? That is, nandyan na mismo sa drawing, tsunami wave height map. Hindi po yan radiation.
Tsunami yan, hindi siya.
Hanggang ngayon, maraming nagpupumilit na radiation po yan. Nandyan na mismo sa label ng drawing mismo na hindi po yan radiation.
So,
yan po ang sinasabi nilang nasusunog na nuclear plant, no?
Mali.
Ilang beses yan lumabas sa news. That is the Cosmo Oil Refinery.
Walang nuclear dyan.
Wala po.
Ang World Health
Very good
Organization po,
clarification.
nagsabi na wala pong death or injury due to radiation.
What about sa US daw? May parang
Yung
nangyari.
3 Mile,
Wala din.
wala din pong injury or casualty. So, ang next po na tinatanong sa amin, back to the slide, is nuclear waste. So, what about nuclear waste? So, ito po ang nuclear waste. Yan po ang spent nuclear, ang waste po actually is a spent nuclear fuel assembly. So, ito po yung
nagamit na. So, bago magamit, hindi pa siya radioactive. Nananatili siya sa loob ng reactor for 4.5 years to 6 years depending on the type of reactor. At the end of that time, doon po siya nagiging very radioactive. Na pagkaganyan po, within few minutes, patay na kami lahat. Linalagay po yan sa dry cast, no? So, number one ang dapat yung maintindihan, napakakonti ang ating pinag-uusapan. Balik nyo nga, please. Yung assembly po na yan galing sa ating PNPP-1, that is a dummy assembly.
So, yan Kaya yan
Yes, sa SM Ora po yan. Sa isang taon po, 21 ganyan ang magagamit. Sa isa't kalahating taon, 40 ganyan, kasya po sa isang Isuzu Elf. Yun lang po ang ating pinag-uusapang nuclear waste. Kung coal po yan, gabarko po yan na, do you have a picture of the next one? Yeah, okay. So, pwedeng itago dyan sa dry cask, ayan, nakayakap yung mga tao.
So, yan na po ang nuclear waste.
It has never harmed anyone.
So, may mga tao, pwede kayong lumapit, si Kong Mark pumunta sa isang dry cask storage.
Sa Switzerland po yan ang pinuntahan ko.
Ito na po ang nuclear waste. That's how it looks like. At saka konti lang po siya. Dr. Alvi, you want to say how konti the nuclear waste is?
So dahil maliit po yung fuel natin, nabanggit ni Ms. Gail kanina, yung 1 gram ng nuclear katumbas ng 1,800 liters ng oil at 3 tons ng coal. So ibig sabihin, sinasabi po weakness ng nuclear ang waste, pero kung tutuusin, pag tinignan natin yung volume, advantage siya ng nuclear kasi napakaliit po ng volume. In fact, may estimate po na pinakita na pag inipon natin lahat ng highly radioactive waste, lahat ng nag-operate na nuclear power plant sa buong mundo, kasya po sa isang football field. Ganun po kaliit yung waste na napoproduce. At pag kinumpara po natin yan, medyo mabanggit ko lang po ang solar. Of course, we're not competing with solar, pero wala pong zero waste technology. Saan po ilalagay lahat ng solar panels? At the rate that we're going, we're very aggressively going solar. Meron din po yung mga cadmium at nickel na highly toxic materials. Pag tinignan po ang waste management ng nuclear, high level po, it will be second to none. Pero pag kailangan po ikumpara natin to sa waste management procedure ng iba rin pong mga industries natin.
Yeah, and ang nuclear po, may pondo sa pagdispatcha. Yun dun sa panukalang batas na naipasa noong isang araw sa Kamara on third reading. By the way po, 200 ang pabor. Yung pong panukala na yon, meron pong pondo doon, 6 centavos per kilowatt hour na idideposito ng nuclear operator sa isang nuclear waste disposal trust fund. After 80 years po, bilyong-bilyong piso na po ang maiipon na pera. So lahat po ng cost ng dispatcha ng nuclear waste ay funded po yan, prepaid po yan. Lahat ng ibang waste, ng ibang technology, solar, wind, coal, lahat yan, wala po silang pondo. Bahala na si Batman doon. Pagdating ng tsunami ng waste, after 20 years, kasi po ang life po niyan 20 to 30 years lang, doon po tayo mamumroblema. Ipapatong po natin na papasanin ng ating mga descendants. But nuclear, sagot po natin lahat ng issue in the future. Sagot na po natin agad. If you would use the nuclear waste in tomorrow's my grandchild's Generation 4 fast breeder reactor, the final fission products are safe after 100 years. So it changes its characterization completely once you use it 20 times in a fast isobreeder reactor. That is my grandchild's reactor.
Ang next po na question is ang pinaka-importante. So, next one, bakit nuclear? At ito yung pinaglalaban talaga natin. Nuclear kasi ang mahal talaga ng kuryente natin. So, this one, ang sinabi dito, Filipinos have a history of paying some of Southeast Asia's highest electricity rates, from 25 and 87% higher than our neighbors. Mahal ang kuryente natin sa Pilipinas. Next slide. So, ang laki ho ng impact ng mahal na kuryente. Alam mo natin yan, sabi ni Wilson kanina, lahat na tao na nag-on ng aircon, alam to. So, according po kay Doc Caloy Arcilia, 10 to 15% ng sweldo natin, ginagamit natin pambayad sa kuryente. Compared sa ibang bansa, sa China was only 1%.
Yeah.
In countries with nuclear capacity, 1 to 2%, pinsan 3%. So, ang laki po ng difference. Ang mahal po ng kuryente natin. At ang impact po nun sa mga buhay natin, hindi lang sa aircon at hindi lang every 15 or 30 na magbabayad tayo ng bill. Ang mga businesses natin are very much affected. Maraming businesses ang kailangang umalis ng Pilipinas dahil mahal ang kuryente natin. So pag ang Bangladesh nagbukas ng nuclear power plants, baka maraming factories natin ang mapunta sa kanila kasi mas mura ang kuryente. Lalo na yung, Mark.
Yes, yung umaalis sa China dahil sa gulo sa China ngayon, baka hindi pumunta rito sa atin, baka pumunta sa neighbors natin.
Sa Vietnam na raw libo, actually.
Kaya dadagdagan ko yung sinabi ni Gail kanina na mas mura ang kuryente doon sa neighbors natin, hindi dahil may nuclear sila. Dahil meron silang indigenous coal and gas gas resources. Wala po tayo nun. Hindi po tayo binasbasan ng Panginoon na meron po tayong ganyan. So, ini-import po natin lahat. Most of it from Indonesia. Kung naalala nyo po nung inatake ng Russia ang Ukraine, biglang sinabi ni Indonesia, titigil na namin ang export ng coal. Anong nangyari? Lumuhod po tayo sa kanila. Pumunta po tayo doon, nakiusap po tayo na wag namang ganyan at sasara ang ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. So there is no fossil fuel independence. There is no energy security. There is no national security. Our way around that is through nuclear.
Ang next slide po, bakit po mura ang nuclear? So ito yung Mark, yung
yan
sinasabi mo.
yung hinihingi kong picture kanina, no? Yung 4 na pong fuel assembly na kasya sa isang jeep. Ang katumbas po niyan ay 50 barko na tig 50,000 tons na coal. So isipin nyo ang diferensya, no? So ang halaga po niyan, ilang daang milyong dollar taon-taon na kailangan iangkat galing abroad. Pero kung nuclear, nasa 20 to 30 million dollars lang. Yun po ang magic ng nuclear.
Okay, so ito po yung sinasabi ni Kong Mark. So, ang coal po, 600 million. Pag kinonvert po natin, that's 33 billion pesos. Ang nuclear po, around 20 million. So, if you convert it, 1 billion pesos. From 30 billion po versus 1 billion, malayo po yun. And this is to power one power plant. So, 620 megawatt power plant, parang kalaka.
For 18 months, ha?
For 18 months. Parang kalaka po. Kalaka kasi 600 megawatts. And then, ang Philippine Nuclear Power Plant po is 620. So, ganun po kalaking pera ang nagbi-bleed sa atin. Araw-araw, buwan-buwan, taon-taon. Yung dollars po natin, ginagamit lang natin pambili ng coal at sinusunog lang natin para lang may kuryente tayo na ibebenta sa atin na mahal. When there is an alternative, which is nuclear, that's being used in other countries, 400 plus nuclear running right now habang nag-uusap tayong lahat. Walang incident, walang drama, walang anything. It's just running and just producing electricity for major economies. Tapos tayo, we keep on debating about nuclear. Kaya importante po yung mga forum na ganito kasi natatalakay natin isa-isa yung mga topic at nakikita natin ano ba talaga yung issues behind the stories that are coming out. So, 33 billion versus 1 billion for one power plant. Ilang power plants tayo, Kong Mark? 23?
Total Philippine capacity including hydro, sabihin na natin 75% of 22,000 megawatts, so 16,000 megawatts of fossil fuels.
So, nandito na po tayo sa last slide. Ang last slide po, ang palaging tinatanong, next slide please, mabubuksan pa ba natin ang PNPP? Ang sagot po ay yes. At ang onus po ay nasa sa atin. Tayo po ang kailangang magkalampag sa ating gobyerno para buksan yung Mercedes-Benz na nakapark for 30 years now. Kasi nandito naman sa atin ang susi. So, next slide. So, we'll give this to you. We already discussed this, the timeline of the PNPP. Kailan siya nagsimula? Noong 1973, nung oil crisis. May oil crisis na ulit tayo ngayon. Nandito pa rin tayo nag-uusap about it. Nagkaroon po ng revival noong 2007, kaya lang nagkaroon ng Fukushima. Ngayon, there's a new revival with the EO of President Duterte to include nuclear in the mix, and Congressman Marco Ronco's House Bill PhilAtom. So we are on another revival. Kaya po kami talagang gusto namin i-push na natin to. Pang ilang revival na natin to. Dapat tumuloy-tuloy na to. That's why we have this and we'll continue having forums like this para, kumbaga pa, isulong ang nuclear. At di ba ho ba funny, ang nagsusulong po ng nuclear, we are a non-profit NGO. hindi dapat po ang dapat alam na po to ng maraming scientists at people in power, because this information is available online. But you know, we are where we are. So we are in another revival, and we should not miss this. So that's why we have this forum, because Kong Mark will talk about the PhilAtom bill, and then we also have the representative of Senator Tolentino, because the bill is going to go to the Senate. So parang we guide it through. Bantayan natin so that in the near future, we will open our nuclear power plant, which should have been opened as the first nuclear power plant in Asia, and then that we will build more so that we will have mura, malinis at maasahang kuryente.